Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Kawaii K9s. This conversation was recorded on October 12th, 2022, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of KPN directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. Today we are speaking with Kawaii K9s. They are a very unique husband and wife project that is coming to Kadena very soon, minting on the MintIt platform. Very cute artwork, so make sure you guys definitely check them out. But let's get started here. So welcome, Kawaii K9s. Great to have you here. Let's start off with I'd like to learn a little bit about the history of yourself and how you got into crypto as generally, and then just a brief explanation of what Kawaii K9s is. So why don't you take it away?
Well, thank you, and it's good to be here. And of course, in a little bit, I was going to ask MintIt to come up because they were going to share some stuff as well about details with working out the launch. But as a little bit of a, I guess you could say, backstory, it's just the two of us, my wife and me. It's her name's Christina, my name's Matthew. We got into crypto because of my brother-in-law, who's a doctor in the U.S., and he's always, mined Bitcoin and has done different types of, involved in different types of crypto and stuff like that. And then we were having a conversation a while back, and he was telling me about Kadena, and kind of got interested. And then he actually is also the one that convinced us to do or to start trying to get into doing NFTs because he had seen the artwork that Christina had done. We currently have some NFTs over on Ethereum with a little community over there through our Hooked on Nugs profile. That was just a little thing that we started over there, just trying to dip our toes into the NFT world. We are actually Christian missionaries. We run a ministry, a mission in the islands in the Pacific. We do a lot of things, I guess you could say, in real life to try to help others between, just doing different things. We run radio stations. We pass out food and clothes, those kind of things that you would think of typically doing in third world countries. But as with everyone these days, with the economy, we were trying to figure out how to come up with new ways to possibly have income come in towards doing those type of things that we do in real life. And so far, so good with crypto. We have actually been able to sell some out of NFTs over on Ethereum. But over there with OpenSea, with everything else that's already going on over there, the ups and downs, the people that have been burned, it's just such a crowded area. And we prefer the Kadena ecosystem. We prefer, uh, I guess you could say, life over here. It's a little bit more, I guess you could say, organized in some sense. It's a little bit more personal because you can still be in at the beginning. You don't feel like such a tiny fish in such a huge open world trying to get people's attention. And so we decided to come over here because we had a lot of projects that we had been planning to do. Like I said, we have a couple of projects over there, including Angel Doggos and everything else. But then we decided with our next two projects in particular, the Kawaii K9s and then the Pit Bull Bushido collection, we want to do those on Kadena because we wanted to just be able to bring this over here. It's more of a fun project. I know a lot of people always want to talk about utility. We do have utilities with some of our NFT projects, like with the Angel Doggos. You can get a customized NFT for your own pet. But over here with Kawaii K9s, we are just trying to build a little bit of a network, a little bit of a community to try to, I guess you could say, tie into our next project, which would be the Pitbull Bushido which is the collection, which will also include in real life merchandise like T-shirts and some. We're planning a playing card game. You can see the profile down below. So the Kawaii K9s, my wife is part Japanese. So in Japanese, Kawaii means cute or cutesy, I guess you could say. And so she does all of the art on her iPad with Procreate. And we just used pit bulls because so far all of our collections have been dog themed. And both she and I, growing up over the years, had raised every kind of dog that you can imagine. And we just saw this one pit bull once, and we just really liked it. We said, his face would be the perfect face for an NFT character, and that's just basically how it got started. And so now here we are with the Kawaii K9s and trying to build on Kadena.
Awesome. It sounds like you share a lot of the same experiences and history with a lot of other people where they built on Ethereum and things just quickly didn't really seem to work out in the sense of the marketplaces or the gas fees or things like that. So a lot of people are starting to jump ship and look for other ways. I also noticed that one of your other collections you started on crypto.com as well, which they now have their own NFT marketplace. What was it like on there? Because I've had a few different people who have tried to run NFT series on the crypto.com. Just out of curiosity, how well was that received for you guys versus like the Ethereum ones?
Well, that's kind of a good question. With crypto.com, you actually really have to have a community because otherwise you're not going to really get any traffic. So I haven't actually even logged into my crypto.com NFT profile in quite a while. So as far as I know, I haven't sold any over there. That you really have to grind. You really have to get out there. You really have to build connections through the Crow network to try to even get eyes on your project. With Ethereum, as an example, I guess you could say Genesis project is the Bull Run Bulldogs. It's a collection of 1,250 NFTs that we just made and minted using an ERC 741A, I believe it was, contract. So we were able to mint them all out and just have them already appear on OpenSea, and we're just using those as giveaways. But as an example, I was going to give a Bull Run Bulldog to someone once, and the gas fees were going to be like $240. And like if someone was to buy one, it would be like 0.01 Ethereum. So like I think it's like $12, $13. So $240 in gas fees. It was just ridiculous. The one thing I will give to crypto.com, which I am gonna, of course, talk to MintIt about this and see if it would be a possibility. I do like how they have where you can put 50, say 50 NFTs up there with multiples of each. So, like, you can have 10 editions or so of each NFT. Because with the Pit Bull Bushido collection, that's kind of one thing that we might need because we will need multiples of each for the ideas we have planned for that collection. So there are some upsides, but the downsides, again, you really have to have a network, especially in today's market. You really have to have a lot of people you're in contact with to even get anything to move at all.
So I see with your K9s, you are only planning to do 1,000 NFTs. Now, it seems that that's a fairly low number. Any chance that that numbers might change between now and then, maybe up a little bit more? Because it says that you have like hundreds of different traits. And if you have lots of different traits, then you should technically be able to generate a larger amount if need be. So any thoughts of maybe changing that price, or are you guys set on the 1,000 mark?
Well, we had originally planned this collection to be 10,000, but we're trying to be realistic because with today's market and with everything that's going on, we would rather have a smaller collection that would potentially sell out than a larger collection that would be forever just minting out because We do need a little bit, because of what we're planning to do with the Pit Bull Bushido. We do need a little bit of seed money to do that. As an example, if we do the playing cards physical playing cards that we're planning on doing, or character cards, that's going to cost me like $1,500 minimum to do that. So that's why we kind of just went with 1,000 of these. We also prefer to have them be a little bit more unique, because the more you have, say you have a collection of 10,000, you can have 3, 4, 500 traits, but eventually they kind of start to look repetitive. And so we were trying to make it so that each one's a little bit more unique. We were able to play around with some of the rarities. So, as an example, in this collection, the diamond head, I believe, is only in 4 of them. There is only one in particular, 1 or 2, that has the Kadena color for their skin. Also, I believe the Kadena hoodie is only in 1. So each one, I guess, realistically speaking, could be a 1 of 1. When I did the layering for these, I actually made like 78 of them. And then Christina had also done 21 1 of 1s. So about 10% of this 1,000 are, for all practical purposes, 1 of 1s, just to try to make it a little bit more unique. And there again, we're a new project, especially over here. We're not really here to try to grab everybody's money. We're not going to be charging huge amounts. We're just trying to get in, and we'd rather be more of a fun project rather than grudgingly trying to, raise huge amount with, I guess you could say, expectations that probably would not be able to be met.
So basically, Kawaii K9s is going to be the jump-off platform that will help fund your next project, which is the Pit Bull Bushido card game, which seems to be a lot more inclusive and a lot more to do to build that, being like you want to build a card game and everything like that. So let's maybe talk a little bit about the plans for the Pit Bull Bushido. Now, if I was to say mint myself a couple of K9s, does that get me any kind of perks for the next series for the pit bulls, like for example an automatic whitelist or anything like that, just for people to get an idea of, like, if I get involved with the very first project, what kind of things does that involve for the future?
Yes. So what we're thinking is, with the Kawaii K9s, there are in the 1 of 1s, there are certain prizes you would win, bounties, if you will. As an example, we have one called Mr. Moneybags. He's kind of looks like the Monopoly Man. That will win you 50 KDA. And also we have a DocuShield one that should win you, I believe it's $50 in doc token. Also, there's a Corona Inu one, which would win you some Corona Inu. We tried to get a few other projects on board, but with the Kawaii K9s, yes, it would be automatic whitelist. Anyone who buys any amount, it could be 1, 2, it could be 50. You know, it could be all 1,000. You can give me an offer for the collection, but it would be definitely an automatic whitelist. We would also potentially like to do, for anybody who mints, a free mint from the Pitbull Bushido collection. We're kind of still trying to figure that out, because we have to, we have a lot of prize points for that. Got to figure out how that's going to go, but definitely it would be a whitelist. Just to kind of explain a little bit what we're planning with the Pitbull Bushido. The Pitbull Bushido, we're wanting to make them. There's 47, loosely based on the 47 Ronin. So each character is a samurai. They'll have a name. They'll be an actual character, but they will have a pit bull's head. So that's the Pit Bull Bushido collection. Uh, they're all, going to be individual characters, 1 of 1s, but there will be multiples of each one. So, like, as an example, we would have 10 identical characters uh, of each individual samurai. And if you wanted to complete your set of 47 characters, those who were able to collect all 47 characters would win the physical set of character cards, which we're trying to figure out how to integrate that into possibly a card game or a trading card game, similar to Pokemon. Uh, or if you can only get a certain number or a certain set, maybe T-shirts or coffee mugs, stuff like that. That would kind of just be more in real life stuff. For us, we're not really here. We're not going to be making a token. We're not going to be doing anything like that. We're just trying to bring some of the more fun NFT projects that people do like on Ethereum, but bring it to Kadena so that if people here just want to have something fun to be involved with, more of a community project, you'd have that option here as well. And so with the Kawaii K9s, yeah, some of them will get you extra prizes and perks and stuff from KDA to other tokens. You will get automatically whitelisted for Pit Bull Bushido. I can't say for certain because, as an example, if we have 47 characters and there's, 100 of each, that's 4,700 Ronin characters. I might be able to go ahead and say, if you buy a Kawaii K9, that will get you a free mint, at least one free mint from the Pit Bull Bushido. But like I said, we're still trying to figure all that out.
I really like the idea of card game kind of based NFTs. I've seen a couple of different iterations of this on different networks. One that I've been a part of myself is on the Elron network. Is a project called J Corp, and they do kind of like a heroes and villains kind of setup where like you buy your NFTs. Right now, they've only got the hero section out right now, and they're slowly releasing their villains. But the whole idea of the card game itself is there's these different areas, and each different hero has kind of like what they call like a hero rank, and that rank determines like the amount of power that they have. And then, so what I would do is I would sign into their website and place my NFTs on different strategic areas that we wanted to, say, attack or defend. And then, after a certain amount of time goes out, it tallies up all of the different NFTs and the power. And then, a winner is kind of selected. Can you go a little bit deeper into what the card game that you're planning on building may entail, if you guys have figured that out yet?
Well, for now, we're looking at probably just releasing the character cards. Our traits, or I guess you could say the more information about each character would be based on the virtues, the 7 virtues of Bushido, which would also be the theme for the T-shirts. So on the front side, you would have the samurai, the particular character, which will have a certain color theme, I guess you could say. Uh, and then on the back, you would have the virtue that would be their strongest virtue. So, like, let's take as an example, protection, or the protective spirit. Like, there's one of the samurai who's holding. It's kind of funny because he's a pit bull, samurai, but he's also holding a little puppy in one arm. So we make him like the greatest protect. He would have the highest score in protection or safeguarding. I'm actually I actually went out to a geek out not too long ago where they had a whole bunch of tables set up with a bunch of guys and girls doing trading card games. So I was talking to them, trying to get some ideas. So we'll probably try to work on figuring that out with some people who are experts in card games and stuff like that, to just try to get somebody on board to help us with that. But at this moment in time, the only thing that I can say for sure is that the first set would be character cards with some traits, and then we'll try to build on that over time. Whether that would be in the future, like location cards, like different castles, different things. There's also I had a little bit of idea of like a comic book series, because I've known some people, some friends of ours who have done that as well, who that has seemed to be pretty popular. But that would probably be over time, as we did other characters in addition to the Pitbull Samurai, like maybe some different types of characters, like maybe a different series for Ninja or different things like that, and then eventually combine them all into a comic. So we do have some plans, but it all kind of starts here. The here and now is the Kawaii K9s, because this is our kind of our way in, and we're hopeful that if we can get a good launch and if we can get through the first stage, this will lead us into something that we can just do perpetually.
So getting back onto Kawaii K9s, looking at the different layers in the art, just from the few pictures that you guys have leaked already, you've already mentioned that there's a few traits that are very, very unique, like the diamond head and the Kadena hoodie kind of thing. Could you maybe give us a little bit of idea of maybe some of the other traits we may see, maybe not so much the very unique ones, but just kind of to give people an idea of if, when they mint, what they might see. Like I noticed one of them is like a clown wig and a clown shirt and stuff like that. And like one of the hoodies is like a frog kind of based and kind of like that. What other kind of cool things have you guys thrown in as traits that people might like? Because I know a lot of people, when it comes to NFTs, rarity and stuff like that is very important to them and can also dictate a lot of the different change in floor price when it comes to secondary sales. So maybe just give us a quick little idea of just what kind of things you guys have come up with.
Well, we have, like I said, we have a full set of the outfits. So you'll see the vast majority of them will have some sort of hoodie. So it'd either be a hoodie with a sweater or not. If they have a matching shirt and hoodie, then that's one that I actually layered myself to try to make sure that they were matched up. So that would be more of a rare one. If the hoodie portion and their shirt, the sweater match in color, then you'll know that those were put in manually. With other one of ones that we have, with other specialty ones, like I said, the Mr. Money bags, that comes with a 50 KDA, so not $50, but actually 50 KDA bounty. We do have a couple of, I guess you could say, political characters in the mix, just for fun. I think those they'll either be popular or they'll be hated. I don't know. We have we have from both sides of the political spectrum in there as Easter eggs. I'll just put that there. If somebody mints them, they'll know they have a valuable one when they see that. We also have one that's wearing a MintIt long sleeve T-shirt with a MintIt snapback. That one, I was hoping that I would be able to include with that one a bounty of a MintIt Creators Pass, but at this very moment in time, just I don't have enough KDA to pick up an extra one of those to hold on for that. So we'll just wait and see how launch goes. There are other things that we are planning on doing. If we do sell enough in the first few days, there will be other bounties that we will be adding in out of the proceeds to just try to spice it up a little. But yeah, there are other ones. There's a king and a queen, where the king kind of looks like the one in my profile picture, but he has a slightly different chain. He's wearing, it'll have diamonds with the letters KDA in gold on the chain as well. That one would be an important one, and I'm not sure how the mint will be going, but if it's in order, that'll be a very early one. So whoever's quick to get on there and start picking up Kawaii K9s should be able to grab one of those. So those are just a few of the things that we have. We were wanting to do this where you could win a prize if you get a particular one. With other ones, like you said, the frog one, I don't know if you saw the chicken nugget one, or we call them the chicky nugget hoodie or background. Those are all just one of ones. They don't really come with any particular bounty or prize, but they just are in particularly rare, or were actually done by Christina as a one of one. With the Corona Inu, there again, you would win some Corona uh, token. In fact, they're sponsoring that. So there's just a few different things that we're trying to do just to have a little bit of fun with it. But there again, we're just trying to bring a little bit of fun, I guess you could say. Most people nowadays are kind of depressed, so we were just trying to do something fun that won't cost that much. The whitelist price is 5 KDA. Uh, I really wanted to lower that even further, just because I'm not really here to make a whole bunch of money. I only need to make a little bit to be able to build our next project, but we're just trying to have a little bit of fun with what we can and see how much we can build.
Well, I really like to hear that you're not really doing this just for the money, just kind of to build a community and build something that can sustain itself. And like you said, you don't really need a lot to go into the next project. You just need to make sure that the things that you have the goals that you have set in mind are feasible and are able to be covered. So I love to hear that the whitelist is only going to be 5 KDA. That's super duper reasonable as far as I can see, and most likely will cause your collection to mint out very, very quickly. Now, as far as whitelists go, let's talk a little bit about how the community can get involved with your project and how they can get on your whitelist.
Well, I'll tell you with the whitelist, honestly, it's pretty straightforward. You can DM me and ask for the whitelist. I'll give it to you. I was originally not planning on doing a whitelist. I was just going to say it's 5 KDA each. Technically, at this moment, it's 5 KDA with whitelist, 7 KDA public. But I might in the end just say it's 5 KDA, but I kind of wanted to do something special for those who really have followed the project. Another plan that I had momentarily was possibly whoever's already on the whitelist, just give them one free mint and then just say the rest is 5 KDA. But I kind of had to go back on that because I do have a bunch of people on the whitelist already, so I do have to bear in mind that I do need to make a little bit of money off of this. But yeah, if you would like a whitelist, we are giving them out in Telegram. We have a Telegram group. I was just going to give them to the first 100. It's a very I hate Telegram, honestly, but if you do come over there to Telegram, we're just basically giving them to whoever joins the Telegram group. If you're on Twitter, we've been giving them out in giveaways, trying to get a little bit more attention. The whitelist, I think we've mostly just been using for advertising, just like, hey, we're doing a giveaway of, like right now, we're doing a giveaway on our Twitter page of I believe it's a Kadena Punk. I just swept the floor, grabbed a rare one, and I'm using that as a giveaway. In addition to that, 10 whitelist spots. But in the end, if you'd like the whitelist, just DM me. I'll get it for you. It's just a form, fill it out, and we'll put you in there.
Awesome. So I like that. No hoops to jump through. No, you like join our Discord and reach level 25 and blah blah blah, like some projects do. But at the same time, I find fair launches get a lot more traction than the whitelist launches, and whitelist kind of inclusion makes it an inclusive kind of thing where some people really feel like left out, and if they don't get this whitelist, they feel like, oh, I've missed the boat and blah blah blah. But really, like, if I kind of like your idea of maybe doing, instead of having different prices, maybe making a set price. And like you said, if you get a whitelist, or if you're one of the early people who get involved with the project now, like before things start ramping up, that just either like one free mint or something, but limit it to only like less than 100 people, just to kind of get the word of mouth in, get people interested. And also, like you said, using other projects, being involved, getting other projects to jump on board and incorporating them into your project through either, like you said, mint a certain NFT, you get a certain prize from another community, is a great way to bring everyone together and to not only promote your project, but promote everyone as a whole. So it's really great to see that you're getting involved with that, and hopefully you can get more projects involved, and maybe before the mint, set up even more offers for people. I know that there's lots of different tokens and different projects out there that would probably could use a little boost, because like you said, the whole community is kind of in this funk right now, and everyone's just kind of like, with the whole world situation and cryptos just continuously going down, and the bear market just seems to have no end in sight. People could use a little lift me up. So this might be a good opportunity for some people to get involved with something really good and really help bring the communities together.
Yeah, and I know, personally, like all of us to a certain extent have made mistakes, but I think with us having started over in Ethereum, we've learned some ways to do things, some ways not to do things. I've seen even here on Kadena, some people, they'll swoop in, they'll have a project, you'll like it, you'll be on board with it, and then after IDO happens, everybody's got their money and they've gone, and you're like, you know what, you're left holding the bag, and it's like, okay, well, we're not really here to do that. I'm not here to. I honestly, yes, like everyone else, yes, I'm here to make money. It would be great if I could turn this into something where we could have a alternate revenue source. Like I said, what we do in real life, we do need more income for, which is. But I'm not really saying, I'm not marketing as that. Like I'm not saying, we're a we're just a project here, this is what we do, we're goody two shoes, we need to raise money for these poor island children. I am completely keeping this separate from that and just saying, this is something fun that we've thought of, kind of doing it as a hobby. If it's something you're interested in, if you just like to have a little bit of fun, we're trying to keep it the price low. We're trying to keep it so that if you'd like to uh, just get in, make it easy. Our My plan personally is to potentially, with before the next bull run, my own plan is I'm going to try to at least have 10,000 KDA sitting there, and I'm just going to be sitting on it and waiting and seeing what happens. But with our story, not everything has to be depressing. I've been in spaces where you got everybody sharing their feelings and crying, and it's like, guys, I have enough depressing stuff that happens in real life. I kind of just want to, have a little bit of fun with this. I'm really, I'm a real person. If you really want to know who I am, I'll tell you my name and every stuff about that. I'm legit. But honestly, this is just a fun project that we're trying to do, and we're just, we're not here to be depressing. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's good to hear. I also feel like NFTs and philanthropy definitely could be a very good mix, as long as, because there has been a lot of projects out there saying, oh, we're going to donate X amount of funds from our, from the sales and stuff to this certain charity, and then you just never hear anything back. And like you said, next thing you know, the projects are just not communicating, and their Twitter disappears and their Discord shuts down, and you're just left holding a bunch of NFTs in a bag and your money's gone. So there is opportunity for that, as long as the transparency is above board. So could you maybe see a future where you kind of intertwine your two together and maybe do some philanthropy through NFTs?
Yeah, I believe so. Just as a little bit of a background, like I said, we do run a mission in the islands. My family and I have lived out here for 25 years. We moved out here when I was 6 years old. Christina and I, we just got married a couple of years ago, but because of COVID, we've been stuck out here. So actually, we're living in Guam right now, if you know where that is. But like for our own selves and our own lives, it's it's been really hard for us because, as an example, we went from living with a very low rent to having to live in a very expensive place. So, with us, our rent utilities are greater than half of our income, and that's really put a damper on some of the in real life stuff that we do. As an example, usually around this time of the year, we're sending boxes of toys and clothes and stuff down there, getting ready for Christmas and giveaways and stuff that we do. But this year, it's going to be a lot more, shall we say, just a lot thinner than we usually do, just because of the state that we're all in. It's not just us; it's everybody in the world is going through this. It's just been hard. But that's kind of what's also been nice about doing this is it's gotten our minds off of a lot of our own problems. We're not constantly sitting around worrying about different things because we're trying to do something about it ourselves. And so she's always drawing and doing other things, different projects. With, like I said, I mentioned it briefly, but you may have seen on our Hooked on Nugs account, we have this other thing called Angel Doggos, where we send custom NFTs to whoever mints one of our angel dogs. Um, that one is just basically a memorial for a pet that you've lost. And so that's kind of the utility for that. We would like to bring that one over as well to Kadena. Possibly in the future, we might do a variation of that project over here as well. So we have some ideas about integrating in. And I guess at this point, I should ask MintIt if they'd like to come up, because he was going to share a little bit about launch date, and possibly we'll see how how everything's going there, so we'll know if there's any updates from them. But yeah, we would like to, but I don't really like to talk about that too much, because I know for myself, if I hear somebody talking about philanthropy or anything like that, I instantly think, "Ooh, red flag, red flag. This is somebody who's going to take my money and disappear." So instead, I'm just trying to talk about other plans that we have to build off of this, for starters, and then maybe after we've built a little bit more of a community. Because me, on this account, I have less than 300 followers. So if I have a Twitter account with less than 300 followers, I am not going to mention anything about philanthropy until at least I have some more followers and some more people that know that I'm here to stay.
Yeah, that sounds like probably your safest bet, because like you said, I do agree with you when you do say, like, as soon as people hear NFTs and philanthropy, they automatically think, well, there goes my money. But if, it sounds like you guys have a very strong background in philanthropy and helping through your mission and stuff. So I would like to definitely see something, maybe definitely in the future, once you're Kawaii K9s are out and your Pit Bull card game has been established and is running, and you've built yourself a nice community. It might be a nice way to, all right, guys, let's come together as a community and help someone, like help through a quick, it could be like even a small little collection of like 500 NFTs or something very simple, but could, go a long way in these smaller communities that are just like you said, the world's not getting any better. If anything, things are going to get worse in the next couple of years, and people really need to start thinking. It's great that you're protecting yourself and making sure that you as a person are well off and set up. But there's so many people out there that don't have that option, and they live in communities and situations where just even the simple things that we take for granted, like right now, talking on Twitter, like that's not available for some people in the world. And it's good for people to always have that in the back of their minds, that no matter how good your life is, there's someone out there who would literally give everything they had for just a taste of what some of our lives are like. So yeah, it is like you said, it's a two-edged sword, but I definitely see something in the future where you could definitely combine that and do a lot of good for a lot of good people. So MintIt has joined us. So if you guys want to go ahead and say your piece, I would love to hear a little bit more about the plans for when this is going to actually go live and happen.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well. Can hear you good. You guys are sounding nice and clear today.
Cool, thank you. This is Michael. We have the full dev team working on testing right now, so I snuck away a bit to listen to this Twitter space. But yeah, right now we just been testing. Yesterday we were testing collections, and it's very easy. I minted about 10 collections all within an hour and was minting them, but just little errors kept popping up that needed to be fixed on the front end. And it was difficult because we're on Pacific Standard Time, and our main dev is in Spain. Then our other main dev is in China. So when we're working, they're not. So it's just very hard to get everyone on the same time. But every day I'm being told we're gonna go live, so I just can't say that anymore because it's not true. But hopefully this testing goes very quickly. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's that's one of the problems I've always had when it comes to dev work, and especially in crypto. It's hard to say, okay, this is the date that this is going to happen, because just so much can go wrong. So many tiny little things can happen between when you say something and when that date actually forms. And it's nothing that you can really, like, some things you can definitely do some testing and find out, but once you go live, that's a whole nother ball game. And just making sure all of the little tiny things are figured out is definitely something that it takes time, and it takes trial and error. So I'm really looking forward. I know a lot of different projects are just absolutely itching to get started and get minting and all that stuff, and I have absolutely no qualms that you guys will definitely get everything figured out. And very exciting. Like, once it happens, we are going to see the floodgates of NFTs on Kadena just open and just pour out, and it's very exciting that we're getting closer and closer and closer every day to that. So just want to say, like, you guys are doing great. Just keep it up, keep working on it. And I'm sure as soon as you guys got all those bugs figured out, like I said, it's just going to be this massive flood of projects. There's just so many people that are just dying to mint right now that it's actually very, very uplifting that the community is, just working so hard to get to where they can be in a comfortable position. So just keep plugging away. I'm sure you guys will figure it out.
Yeah, the floodgates are definitely going to open. And that's why yesterday was more of a stress test of everyone minting 10 collections at once and seeing how it would handle, and everyone's minting their own collections. But yeah, like you said, timelines are tricky, especially with different time zone and just testnet and mainnet. We go into testnet, works perfectly. Go into mainnet, this little function doesn't work. Back to testnet, we fix it, go back to mainnet, and now something else is broken. So that's a little struggle they've been going through. I get to tell the community, not today. That's my job.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it, though.
That's me, guys.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to jump in and join us, though. So that's always good.
Yeah, and thanks for all that stuff that y'all are doing, because that's without MintIt, we'd kind of be stuck, because I know that there had been a lot of drama on Kadena lately with what standard you're using. So we were kind of just wanting to make sure we did everything the right way the first time. So that's where you guys come in, and that's helpful.
Yeah, we plan to use Marmalade a lot with DocuShield, so we already had a good understanding on it. So it just kind of fell into place of being really not really just a launch pad for Marmalade, but more of just a helping site like DocuShield. We want to make it easy for people to use this technology, and we want to make it easy for people to mint. And I was able to mint a bunch of collections, and it was crazy. I didn't think it would be that easy, but our developers are working hard, and they're doing great things. They're just running into little issues that no one saw coming.
And I think that's part of the reason why I'm contemplating, especially I know we were talking about the other day with the question of being able to have different price points set. Part of me is thinking, especially now, just to make it easier, at least for our collection. I don't know, it wouldn't change everything else, but that's part of the reason why I was thinking about just switching to a fair launch, and then just switching the whitelist that we have to be airdrops later on, after as a couple of days go on. I might just set aside, I think it would be like 60 NFTs to airdrop to the whitelist members, in place of having a public versus a whitelist round, because of course, with us not knowing exactly when the date will be just yet. That way I don't have to have a that way people don't get mad at me, like if we have a whitelist round and they miss it. So possibly just trying to figure out ways to make life easier for everyone.
Yeah, probably the easiest way will be the manual way and just send them back 5 KDA.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that. I'll probably message you later about that, but that's probably what I'll be announcing later on. Is that we're just going to be switching it to just a fair launch, five KDA each for all 1,000, and then as soon as I get like 250 KDA, then I have enough to do all the airdrops back.
Now,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that another project had of the whitelist just giving a different price, and it's no matter how, like for the entire run, you are locked in for that price if you're on whitelist, instead of having like some projects do, oh, you can mint on whitelist for, the next 24 hours, and then the price goes up for the public. Whereas, you could just have it, if you're a whitelist person, you are locked in at 5 KDA for every NFT that you buy for the entire run. What about thoughts on maybe possibly doing it that way?
That was what I was originally hoping on, because as far as I'm concerned, if you have the whitelist, you should be able to buy at whitelist price the entire time. Which that was the original plan. So it would all just kind of depend on how that looks with MintIt. So I'd have to leave that to you, Michael.
Yeah, so we did have that in mind. We also had in mind of making it easier, making multiple rounds for whitelists. So like a free round, a whitelist round, and even carrying on that contract to have that wallet whitelist forever. But with this first version of MintIt and everything along with it, we're just gonna try hammer out the basics: whitelist round, public round, 24 hours, or just fair launch. And after that, just start hammering in on all the small details that would, make it, like that detail would be a great addition. And I know a lot of people love it, because a lot of people can't make the 24 hours either. Maybe they, I don't know, are on vacation, because I'm not going to go on computer if I'm on vacation.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways that it can be done. It's just a matter of, like you said, if the infrastructure for MintIt is built in to begin with to do that, or if it's something you plan in the future. It's just something that has to be worked out between MintIt and the teams. And I'm sure something will be worked out that it works good for both you guys and the community as well. Now, since you guys also have other collections on Ethereum, what if in the future someone was to open up a bridge? Because I know, for example, I'm part of the Elron NFT community, and some of their projects have ported over and actually bridged their NFTs over from Ethereum to Elron. Now, if someone was to open up a bridge for NFTs, would you consider that to be an option?
I would be happy to move everything over, honestly. There actually was a question that was raised the other day. There's another marketplace that's a startup. I would say they're on Ethereum, but they're not. It's through Chainlink, I believe, is what they're building through. But it's called Create. It's a Create Space, and what they're trying to do with their marketplace is it's multiple chain. So basically, whoever can tie in to them, you could mint through them. So they're already giving us the option to basically move all of our OpenSea collections over to their marketplace, to allow people to use whatever chain they want to mint them. So that's a possibility as well. And if Kadena could tie into them, or if we could do that through MintIt in the future, however that would work, we'd be happy to.
Yeah, I see that being because so many people are just sick and tired, like you said, you were trying to send one of your NFTs to someone and it was going to cost you $240 in fees. Like that's just unfeasible and unusable at that point. And people, you know, you got to realize this whole changes that are coming with Ethereum, like the proof of stake change and everything, that's not going to change the fees. The fees are going to be the same. And when things get out of control, those fees are still going to spike up to outrageous levels. So I think we're going to see in the future a lot more projects bridging themselves over and either completely switching chains or, like you said, using a service. If someone could build a service that is chain agnostic and can pull together, pretty much give you the option to mint your NFTs on almost any of the blockchain platforms that support NFTs and have that capabilities. Definitely see that as being something in the future that will be very valuable to not just Kadena, but to pretty much the NFT community across all networks as a whole. And hopefully, maybe in the future, MintIt or one of the platforms we already have may take up this battle, because it would be a battle for sure to get all of these chains and everything to be able to do that. It seems like, you know, because you got Pact as one language, you got the ERC language, and you got all the different pretty much every layer, every L1 out there has their own secondary layer that these NFTs are running on. But you know, the future is like Kadena is, when I first started getting into Kadena, I remember watching some of the interviews with Will and Stuart, and remember one of the things that struck me deeply with them was them saying that the future will consist of many blockchains, but their idea is to only have one smart language that interacts with all of the different chains. And Pact could be that smart contract language that is used across chains. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit more to be capable, but hopefully in the future we will see that as an option where you will go on to a website or a marketplace and go, okay, you know, I want to mint my NFTs on Ethereum today, and you go and mint it on Ethereum. Then you go, okay, now I want to mint one on Kadena, or I want to mint one on Kadena, or I want to mint one on Solana. Although I don't suggest those because obviously Solana has their own issues, but but moving forward in the future, like I said, it's going to be multi-blockchain, but as far as L2s go, I believe eventually there will be one smart contract to rule them all. So it's definitely going to be an interesting future from where we go. But, you know, got to start at the bottom and work our way through. And great projects like MintIt and others are working on lots of awesome tools to hopefully bring that future into flourishing. So it'll be very interesting to see where we go even in the next year or so. I see a lot of things built, a lot of teams building really quickly and bringing a lot of really great projects to this ecosystem. So the future is bright, and hopefully by that time you guys will be all sold out of your Kawaii K9s and going hard on your pit bull thing. And I'm very excited for both projects. I love to see a husband and wife team going hard and bringing their passion to a new space. And you guys really seem to have your stuff all lined up and have a good project on your hands.
Well, thank you, and thanks for your time. It's actually it started at 6 o'clock this morning for us at 6 a.m. Well, it's now 7 a.m. here where we're at. So we appreciate your time, and yeah, we're like I said, we're doing this. We're still fairly new to all of this, but we're just uh, glad that it's something that's Christina's done basically her whole life. She's always loved art, and then about a couple years ago, somebody had given her an iPad and gave me a MacBook, and I was like, well, we have the tools, so let's see what we can do with them. And you know, one thing leads to another, and here we are. So thanks for your time. We do appreciate it. And yeah, Kawaii K9s coming soon. And we'll just leave it there.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Mike from MintIt, for joining us as well. Always great to have you guys joining in the conversation. So make sure everyone goes and follows Kawaii K9s, follow their Twitter, join their Telegram, and if you want to get in on this, make sure you hit them up and hopefully get yourself a whitelist. And hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get our hands on some of these awesome NFTs. I know I'll definitely be keeping my eyes open for that as well. So again, thank you guys both for joining us. It's been an absolutely amazing chat, and I will let you carry on with your day since it's just starting. So thank you very much for getting up early in the morning to speak with us. And hopefully in the future, maybe once either you get closer to your mint or your mint actually happens, we can hook up again and have another conversation.
Well, that would be great, and we do appreciate that. We do try to get all the I would say airway, all of the publicity that we can lead up to anything that we do. Like I said, in real life, one of the things we do run is a radio station, so we're used to being up at weird hours. I used to have to get up every morning at 5 o'clock to switch over the radio programming, so we're used to getting up at odd times. But we do appreciate that. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And make sure you guys go and check out Kawaii K9s, join their Telegram, follow them on Twitter, and definitely keep up to date. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and take care.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also, make sure to follow us on our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter. All the links can be found directly on our SoundCloud profile page. Thank you very much for listening, and take care.